Welcome to the CPR Business Development Podcast. This deep dive is comparing American Heart Association and American Red Cross instructors. Specifically, from a business perspective, right? For those of you looking to become instructors.
Exactly. We've looked at, the steps involved with both AHA and ARC, and we've got some direct comparisons of their programs.
Yeah, the goal is really to help you make an informed decision for your own business goals.
Our mission today really is to unpack the differences. We're talking training, curriculum, recognition, all those key things.
So you get a really clear picture of what each path means for building your CPR business.
Right.
Okay, so let's start maybe with just the general steps. How do you actually become a CPR instructor? It seems kind of similar for both.
It is, broadly speaking. The first part is meeting some basic requirements.
Okay, like what?
Usually things like age, being 16 or maybe 18, having a high school diploma or equivalent. And this is critical. You need a current provider certification yourself in whatever you plan to teach.
So like BLS if you want to teach BLS, or Heart Saver for Heart Saver.
Exactly. BLS, Heart Saver, First Aid, CPR AD, whatever it is. And that right there, that's an initial investment, a cost you need to factor into your startup budget even before instructor training.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
You got to know it before you can teach it. So basics met, what's next?
Then you choose which organization, AHA or ARC, fits better with what you want to do, your business plan. Once you've picked, you need to find a local training center or maybe an instructor course they're offering. These are the places authorized, by AHA or ARC to actually run the training and handle the certs. Independent instructors usually have to partner up with one.
Ah, okay. So it's not just like clicking sign up online somewhere. You connect with a real center.
Pretty much. You'll apply, enroll in a specific course through that center, or maybe a Red Cross chapter, and often there's pre-work too. Like AHA has its online instructor essentials course. You got to do that before the hands-on part.
Got it. So some homework first, then the actual course. What's that like?
It's a mix. Classroom stuff, learning how to teach effectively, using the materials, and then lots of hands-on practice. How to actually run the skill sessions, how to evaluate your students. Usually includes a teach-back session too. You practice teaching the material to the group. Show you can do it.
Okay, so learning how to teach, not just what to teach. Important difference. After the course, are you good to go? Start printing business cards.
Not quite yet. There's usually a monitoring step next.
Monitoring.
Yeah. You have to teach a real class or part of one while an experienced instructor or someone from the training center faculty watches you, evaluates you.
Okay, like a practical exam almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Ensures you can actually deliver the course well in a live setting.
Makes sense. A bit like student teaching.
Exactly. Once you pass the course and the monitoring, then you get your official instructor certification. You're authorized.
Great, so certified instructor. But from a business view, how long does that last? Yeah. Got to keep it up.
Oh, definitely. They expire. Often it's 2 years.
2 years, okay.
And to maintain it, you usually need to teach a certain number of classes in that time. Plus, do any renewal steps, maybe continuing ed, keep up with the latest science. That renewal process, that's an ongoing operational cost for your business, remember?
Right, recurring cost. And what about setting up shop independently? Like really making it a business?
Yeah, if you want to teach on your own, issue the official cards. You'll probably need a business license, first off. Depends on where you are. But critically, you must align or affiliate with an authorized training center. They're the ones who actually process your course paperwork and issue the student cards.
Ah, so they're kind of your link back to AHA or ARC.
Precisely. And understanding their fees, maybe revenue sharing, or any marketing help they offer, that's crucial business planning.
Okay, that gives a great overview of the whole path. Now let's really dig into the differences. AHA versus ARC. Especially thinking about the business implications.
Right, because these differences, they can really steer your whole business strategy. Who you target, what you offer. Let's start with, the course focus, AHA. It's known for being very detail-oriented, lots of practice, really in-depth, especially for healthcare folks.
Okay, so that depth is maybe a selling point for hospitals, clinics.
Definitely. Now, ARC, their courses are also thorough, absolutely, but maybe geared more towards lay responders, workplaces, a broader audience, you could say.
So different target markets right there.
Yeah.
What about how hard they are, passing scores and all that? Does that matter for business?
It can. AHA is generally seen as tougher. Higher passing score needed, like 84% plus. Now that rigor, it might be harder initially, but it can also be a marketing point. We teach the tougher standard, especially for healthcare clients.
I see. And Red Cross?
Slightly lower pass mark, around 80%, often perceived as maybe less intense than AHA, still comprehensive, mind you.
Interesting trade-off. What about the time it takes to do the instructor course? Time is money when you're starting out.
Yeah, funny enough, AHA instructor courses are often shorter, get you certified, and potentially teaching faster.
Oh, okay.
ARC courses tend to be a bit longer, maybe more comprehensive in covering a wider range in one go.
So, faster certification with AHA possibly, but maybe ARC covers more ground initially? Another business timing consideration.
Exactly. Now, curriculum source. This is important.
Right.
Who actually writes the guidelines?
Well, AHA develops the core CPR science guidelines. They're seen as the gold standard, particularly in healthcare. AHA bases its curriculum on those AHA guidelines, but they adapt it, tailor it for those broader non-medical audiences we mentioned.
Okay, so AHA sets the standard, ARC adapts it. How does that translate into recognition? Where do people accept these certifications? This feels crucial for business.
It absolutely is. This is where you really need to know your target market. AHA certification, preferred, often required, in healthcare settings. Hospitals, clinics, EMS. If that's your target, AHA is often the way to go. Higher rates possible there, too.
Right, access to the medical market. And
Yeah.
ARC, widely accepted, highly respected in public safety, schools, general workplaces. Great for community contracts, corporate training. But yeah, sometimes not accepted in hospitals. You need to check locally.
That's a huge fork in the road, depending on who you want to teach. What about how long the instructor cert is valid?
AHA instructor certs, generally 2 years.
Okay.
ARC, some of their instructor certs might only be valid for 1 year. It can vary.
1 year. Wow, that's more frequent renewal.
Yeah.
Business impact.
Well, it means more admin, tracking those renewals, but maybe more touch points with the Red Cross, more updates. Could be good for a new instructor, perhaps. Something to weigh up.
Another operational thing to track. Let's talk costs. The
Yeah.
actual dollars. How do the structures differ?
Quite a bit, actually. AHA often has a lower initial course fee.
Lower up front. Okay.
But you usually have to buy your own course materials, instructor manuals, DVDs, or streaming access, student workbooks. Maybe pay separately for skills tests, too. Adds up.
Ah, okay. Pay as you go almost.
Sort of. ARC, on the other hand, tends to have a higher upfront course fee.
More expensive to start.
Initially, yeah. But that fee often includes all your materials, tests, everything. It's more all-inclusive.
So AHA might look cheaper at first glance, but AHA could be more predictable for budgeting.
That's a good way to put it. Depends on your cash flow and how you like to manage expenses.
And that ties into materials. With AHA, you're buying your own stuff.
Usually, yes. You source and purchase your instructor kit, student materials, etc., inventory management, upfront cost for stock.
Whereas ARC includes it.
Typically included in that course fee. Logistically simpler, maybe, especially when starting out.
Okay, one last comparison point here. Bridge programs.
Hmm.
Say you start with one, can you easily switch to the other? For business flexibility later.
This is a really important one, and the sources are clear. There is no direct online bridge program from ARC to AHA.
None at all. So if you're ARC and want to teach AHA...
You have to take the full AHA instructor course. Start from scratch, essentially.
Wow, okay. That's significant. What about the other way, AHA to ARC?
There might be bridge options from AHA to ARC. Our info isn't specific, but it seems more possible that way.
So the big takeaway is starting ARC doesn't give you a shortcut to AHA later. If you think you might need AHA for, say, healthcare clients down the road,
starting with AHA might save you a lot of time and money in the long run. It's a major strategic point to consider for your business trajectory.
definitely good to know up front. So just to hammer that home, ARC certified, want AHA. You're doing a whole AHA course.
That's the deal, yeah. Full process.
Okay, given that, let's flip it. Why would someone, maybe an ARC instructor, go through the effort to get AHA certified too? What are the business advantages?
Well, the biggest one we keep coming back to is that wider recognition, especially in healthcare.
Right.
Access. If your business plan involves teaching doctors, nurses, paramedics, anyone in a hospital or clinic setting, AHA is often non-negotiable. It unlocks a huge, often more lucrative market segment.
Makes sense. What else?
You can teach a broader range of courses. AHA offers instructor tracks for BLS, ACLS, PALS. These advanced courses are often required for healthcare pros.
Ah, so more services to offer. Diversification.
Exactly. Plus, the basic Heart Saver courses. More courses mean more potential revenue streams for your business.
Good point. What about flexibility or earning potential in general?
Yeah, AHA instructors often have more flexibility. You can align with a training center and teach pretty independently, teach at workplaces, even start your own AHA-aligned training site eventually. Plus, you get to issue those AHA cards, which carry a lot of weight. And you can often get listed on the AHA's Find a Course tool online, free marketing, basically.
Right, tapping into their established network and visibility. That's a big plus. Does it help your own skills too in a business sense?
I think so, yeah. The rigor of the AHA curriculum, especially for BLS, ACLS, PILS, it pushes you. You definitely hone your public speaking, leadership, communication, presentation skills, all huge assets for running any kind of training business and building credibility.
True. Those skills transfer. Any other, maybe less direct benefits?
Well, there's the network itself. AHA has a large support structure, resources, training center connections that can be helpful. And, while it's not purely business, feeling confident in teaching that material, making an impact, that helps instructor satisfaction and your reputation. Plus, holding both ARC and AHA certs, that makes you super versatile, marketable to almost anyone. Competitive edge.
Okay, so it's a real investment time, money, effort to get AHA after ARC, but the potential business payoff, especially for healthcare markets, seems pretty clear. Let's zoom in a bit more on the actual processes now. From an operational standpoint, how do they differ day to day?
Okay, so thinking about running the business, we touched on curriculum depth, AHA, more medical depth, advanced topics like advanced airways, peers for kids, AHC broader, more generalist, might include things like preparedness, sports injuries, even pet CPR in some programs. So which curriculum aligns better with the clients you want?
Right, matching content to customer needs. What about how they teach, the methods?
AHA really pushes a universal approach, consistency, big on hands-only CPR for the public. They also use these simulations now, which is pretty unique. Online scenarios.
These simulations, interesting. ARC.
ARC often focuses heavily on hands-on simulations, lots of scenario-based learning in the classroom. Very interactive.
So different teaching vibes.
Yeah,
Might appeal to different instructors and different learners too.
could do, yeah. Finding a style that fits you and your students.
We mentioned difficulty, AHA's 84% pass versus ARC's 80%. Business-wise, that stricter AHA standard.
Might take more effort to get certified, but again, could be a quality signal, a selling point, maybe, justifying a higher price in some markets, reputation for rigor.
Gotcha. And the validity again, AHA 2 years, ARC often 1, admin burden versus more updates.
Right, more paperwork with potentially shorter ARC cycles, but maybe more connection. AHA's 2 years is less frequent admin work, depends on how you like to operate.
And the cost structure, one last time. AHA paper part versus ARC all-inclusive. Budgeting implications.
Yeah, AHA might feel easier to start if cash is tight initially. Just pay the course fee first. ARC, you know the full cost up front, which might be better for forecasting if you have the capital.
And always, always circling back to recognition. AHA, strong in healthcare. ARC, strong in community workplace. That really drives the whole decision, doesn't it?
It's probably the single biggest factor for most people starting a CPR business. Who do you want to serve? Get the certification they need and respect.
Okay. You mentioned some specific topics. What exactly does AHA cover that ARC typically doesn't? Are these potential niche markets?
Yeah, definitely some niches there. Hands-only CPR, great for quick community awareness events. Those simulations offer a unique online or blended learning option. Advanced airway management that's purely for high-level healthcare providers. A specialized market. The universal approach, consistent messaging is key for healthcare systems. And peers, specialized pediatric emergency training for professionals.
So lots of potential specialization within the AHA framework. What about ARC? Any unique topics they cover that could be business directions?
Yeah, they have some interesting ones. CPR specifically for athletes handling sports injuries. Pet CPR is a popular one. Lifeguarding is a big Red Cross area. Disaster preparedness, too.
So you could build a business around those or add them as complementary services.
Exactly. Different avenues beyond just standard CPR first aid.
And one really unique thing mentioned was ARC's babysitting and childcare classes. That sounds quite different.
It really is. They have comprehensive courses, often aimed at teens or young adults wanting to babysit. They cover everything. Age-appropriate activities, basic care like feeding and diapering, managing behavior, safety, recognizing emergencies, and crucially, they often include the business side. How to market yourself, talk to parents, set rates.
Wow, okay. Does AHA have anything like that?
AHA has Heart Saver, Pediatric First Aid, CPR AED, which is excellent for anyone caring for children, including babysitters. But it's not a dedicated how to run a babysitting business course like ARC offers.
So that's a really distinct market segment for ARC instructors, isn't it? Teaching young entrepreneurs, basically.
Absolutely. If you're interested in that youth market or offering comprehensive childcare safety training beyond just CPR first aid, ARC has a very specific and well-developed offering there.
Fascinating. Really highlights how different niches might pull you towards one organization or the other. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, thinking about launching or growing your CPR business? It seems the choice between AHA and ARC instructor certification really involves weighing up, well, quite a few factors, doesn't it?
It really does. Your target audience is huge. How much medical detail do you want or need to teach? What's your preferred teaching style, their learning style? Then there's the cost structure that fits your budget. And critically, where will your certification actually be recognized and valued? Which sectors are you aiming for?
Yeah, we've tried to unpack the steps, those key differences. The big one about no ARC to AHA bridge.
And the benefits of maybe getting AHA later, the operational nuances, even those unique courses like babysitting from ARs or pairs from AHA.
So it really leaves you with an important question to think about. Which organization, their approach, their recognition, which one aligns best with your vision for your CPR business and the kind of impact you want to make?
Exactly. There's no single best answer. It truly depends on your specific goals and the market you want to reach. You've got to weigh these factors for yourself.
Thank you for joining the CPR podcast, and please subscribe, like, and comment so that we can continue to make more like this. If you have a topic you want us to cover, definitely leave it in the comment section. We will see you in the next episode, Instructor Alignment.